Ladies, let's be honest, sometimes we love in silence, hoping he'll finally see what we need. And men, this one's for you too. These 5 positions might just change how you connect, love, and lead. Don't scroll. Watch till the end. Your next relationship breakthrough could be right here. Comment your location and hit subscribe if you believe love deserves better. You know, one of the most misunderstood aspects of love and connection today is emotional vulnerability, especially for men. From a very young age, many men are taught to hide their feelings, to equate strength with silence and composure with control. They're told that tears are weakness and that showing emotion somehow strips them of their masculinity. And yet, this very conditioning, this avoidance of vulnerability, is what creates distance in relationships, what leaves women feeling unseen, unheard, and emotionally starved. When a woman says she wants a man who opens up, she's not asking for endless emotional outpouring or oversharing. She's asking for authenticity. She's asking for access to the real, unfiltered you. She wants to understand your fears, your dreams, the things that make you doubt yourself, and the things that drive you forward. Because that level of openness tells her something very important, that you trust her, that she matters enough for you to put down the armor and let her in. You see, vulnerability is not the opposite of strength. It is the expression of strength. It takes far more courage to say, "I'm hurt," or "I'm scared," than it does to bury those feelings under anger or indifference. A man who can communicate what he truly feels without fear of judgment is a man who has mastered himself. And in a relationship, that kind of mastery creates emotional safety. It allows both partners to relax into the connection, to stop performing, and to start being. Psychologically, emotional vulnerability activates empathy. It bridges the invisible gap between two people and tells the other person, "I'm human too." And women by nature connect through empathy. When a man refuses to show any vulnerability, she can't find that emotional thread to hold on to. She might admire him, respect him, even desire him, but she can't feel him. And when she can't feel him, the relationship begins to lose its depth. It becomes functional, not emotional. Philosophically speaking, vulnerability is an act of surrender, but not the kind that diminishes you. It's a surrender to truth. It's the courage to exist without pretense. When a man dares to reveal his inner world, he isn't losing power. He's redefining it. Because the most powerful kind of man is the one who is not ruled by fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of rejection. When he owns his emotions, they no longer own him. Women appreciate that kind of emotional clarity. They don't want perfection, they want presence. They want a man who can stand his truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Someone who can say, "I don't have all the answers," and still remain grounded. It's in that honesty that love becomes real. That's when a woman starts to feel secure, because she knows she's not dealing with a mask, she's dealing with a man. But here's the paradox. Many men avoid this position because it feels unsafe. Society has conditioned them to equate vulnerability with danger. Yet, the very thing they fear is the key to deeper connection. When you refuse to be vulnerable, you protect yourself from pain. But you also protect yourself from love. You build walls so high that no one, not even the person who loves you most, can truly reach you. So if there's one truth to carry from this, it's that emotional vulnerability is not about losing control. It's about choosing authenticity. It's not a performance. It's a practice. Start small. Share one honest thought, one real fear, one unfiltered emotion. Watch how it shifts the energy between you and your partner. Watch how it softens her defenses and deepens her trust. Because at the end of the day, strength without vulnerability is just armor. And armor might protect you, but it also keeps love out. Let that sink in. The real strength of a man isn't in how much he can endure without breaking. It's in how much of himself he's willing to reveal without fear. One of the greatest misconceptions about relationships is the idea that love is a hierarchy. Someone has to lead, and the other has to follow. Many men unconsciously step into relationships with this mindset, believing that to be the man means to take control, to make all the decisions, to be the one who defines the direction. But women today don't want to be managed. They want to be met. They want to stand beside, not behind. And that's where the real shift begins, moving from power to partnership. Partnership is not about giving up your strength. It's about learning how to share it. It's about understanding that leadership in love doesn't come from control. It comes from cooperation. When both partners bring their voices, their ideas, and their energies into this space, something extraordinary happens. Love becomes alive. It evolves. It begins to breathe through balance, through respect, and through the freedom to be equals in purpose. The truth is, when a man clings to power, he limits the relationship's potential. Control creates compliance, not connection. It may feel safe to dominate decisions or steer the direction, but it eventually silences her voice. And when her voice disappears, so does the emotional rhythm hum that gives the relationship its heartbeat. Women appreciate men who can lead with them, not over them, who can listen without defensiveness and compromise without feeling diminished. That's emotional intelligence at its highest form. Psychologically, partnership fulfills a deep human need, autonomy combined with attachment. Every person, man or woman, wants to feel both free and loved. When a relationship turns into a power dynamic, one person's freedom often comes at the other's expense. But when the relationship becomes a partnership, both people expand. The energy becomes circular, not vertical. Each person feeds the other, and in that exchange, both become stronger. Philosophically, it's an act of humility, a recognition that love isn't about possession but collaboration. It's about asking, what can we build together? Instead of, how can I make this go my way? That simple shift in mindset changes everything. It transforms arguments into discussions, decisions into agreements, and tension into understanding. Women notice this difference immediately. A man who practices partnership rather than power radiates a different kind of confidence. The quiet kind, the kind rooted in emotional maturity. He doesn't need to assert dominance because he understands that equality doesn't threaten his identity. It completes it. That is the kind of man who draws respect, not demands it. And that respect deepens into admiration because she can see he's not afraid to share space, to listen, to evolve. In truth, partnership requires more courage than control ever will. Control is easy. It's built on fear. Partnership is built on trust. It's saying, I believe that your wisdom adds to mine, and meaning it. It's choosing to see your partner not as competition but as collaboration. And so to every man listening, if you want to lead in love, learn to share the power, because true leadership in a relationship doesn't come from standing above. It comes from standing beside. Remember this. Power demands loyalty, but partnership inspires devotion. Choose partnership. One of the most overlooked truths about love is that women are not searching for perfection. They're searching for presence. Too many men get caught up in the pursuit of being enough, of achieving more, earning more, or proving themselves worthy of admiration. But what most women deeply crave isn't a man who has it all figured out. It's a man who shows up, fully, consistently, emotionally and mentally available, not just physically there. Presence is not about proximity. You can share a home, a bed, even a life with someone, and still feel distant. Presence is when a man's attention, his energy, and his awareness are directed toward the person in front of him. It's when he listens, not just to reply, but to understand. It's when he engages, not out of obligation, but out of genuine interest. And this is where many men unknowingly withdraw. They assume their role is fulfilled once the bills are paid, the duties are done, and the surface level conversations are held. But love doesn't grow in the spaces of routine. It grows in the moments of real connection. Psychologically, women associate presence with security. When a man is mentally and emotionally present, she feels grounded. She feels seen. She feels like her world has a foundation. But when he becomes distracted, distant, or disengaged, she starts to question the bond. Not because she's needy, but because her emotional radar senses the disconnect. It's not the absence of perfection that hurts relationships. It's the absence of attention. Philosophically, being present is an act of mindfulness. It's the conscious decision to live in this moment, rather than being consumed by the noise of what's next. In a world obsessed with speed and ambition, slowing down enough to actually see your partner becomes a revolutionary act. It says, "You matter right now, not when everything is perfect, not when I've achieved more, right now." That kind of awareness has power. It communicates love without words, assurance without promises. The irony is that perfection often creates pressure, while presence creates peace. Many men believe they need to perform to earn affection, but women are not drawn to performance. They're drawn to authenticity. They don't remember the flawless gestures. They remember the moments when you were there, listening, feeling, engaging. It's the quiet dinner where you put your phone away, the simple conversation where you actually heard her heart, the laughter you shared when you weren't trying to impress. Those are the moments that build intimacy. The greatest mistake men make is assuming that women fall in love with success. No, women fall in love with awareness, with the man who can hold space for her, who can meet her energy without distraction, who can bring his full self into a room and stay there. That's presence. That's what she remembers long after words fade. So don't chase perfection. It's an illusion that keeps you running in circles. Instead, practice presence. Because the man who is present creates a love that endures, while the man who is perfect only creates an image that eventually fades. Remember this: presence is love in its purest form, and in the end, love doesn't ask for a perfect man. It asks for a present one.